Hello. My name is Liz Ashley, and welcome to my channel. Today, we are going to be talking about the Majority Report calling out Patrick Bet-David, and then we are going to be talking about Wesley Bell and the protest in St. Louis. Everyone's been talking about it, which is kind of wild. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to react to some other stuff that I have on the docket. Monday was a little crazy, so I apologize. Everything hopefully should be okay now. I'm hoping. I did get an Ethernet cable, so thank you to Walk Miles for giving me that advice. I had an Ethernet cable, but I plugged it in, so hopefully this will work. Yeah, I moved my mic too. But anyway, so hopefully this will work. Let me know if something goes wrong. If not, let's get into it. I'm so excited. If you want to like or subscribe or turn on post notifications, that would honestly mean so much to me. I'm just trying to grow this little channel. But all right, so we're going to react to the Majority Report calling out Patrick Bet-David first. But I've been doing questions of the day, and my question of the day is, have you heard from liberals or just like, I guess like the Blue MAGA, or I don't know. Have you heard from them this whole thing where they're like, okay, if Trump gets to run for a third term, their like Uno reverse card is that like, okay, well then Obama can run again. And I don't know why it upsets me so much. I think like I saw a TikTok video of it, and like that was just kind of like, come on, let's be serious about this. Like serious things are happening. Let's be serious. But then I was like actually talking to someone in real life, and they said the same thing as if it were like really could happen. And that's what made me mad. And I don't know what the question, I guess my question is, have you seen this or have you heard this? And what do you think about it? Because personally, I think it's crazy that, okay, if Donald Trump has a third term, if he can run for a third term, if that's like, again, if he can have a third term, then we have bigger problems. We have bigger problems, like authoritarian problems. I mean, we already have those problems. That's already happening. But we have bigger problems. And so being like, oh, well, Obama can just run again, I think is silly. And I don't think that it is a reasonable solution. And I get it. Some people are just being funny and it's a funny joke, but I don't know. I just don't get it, I guess, because I'm like, no, serious things are happening. And like, that's just not a serious solution. Like, we need to have a serious solution to this. Like, please. Anyway. It's just my gripe of the day. All right, so we're gonna react to.
Folks, are you feeling emotionally untethered? Perhaps a little bit like emotionally lost?
Okay, so we're gonna react to the Majority Report. They're talking about Patrick Bet-David, and I thought this was really funny, so I wanted to react to it because I forget what it is, but it's like this chart that Patrick Bet-David came up with, and he has Bill Maher like at the time, and it's like about emotional intelligence, which is so funny because most conservatives, I personally don't think have emotional intelligence, or like that high of it because like of the policies they support. But let's listen. This is funny. Okay, let's listen. Okay, sorry.
In some fashion?
Yes.
Well, Patrick Bet-David is here for you.
Oh.
Okay. Let's check in.
Bill, because I think he's played a
Oh,
very
you know
clever
what? Give me
role.
a second. I'm sorry. I probably have it muted. I was like, I'm going to do so good this stream. I'm going to do so good. Okay. Here we go. All
The
right.
last couple of years. Watch this clip here. Go. He's talking about Bill Maher.
This is very loud.
No.
This is the other thing we should say. You keep him up there.
Sorry, that was very loud.
Patrick Bet-David desperately wants to be on a Bill Maher show.
He desperately wants to be on there. He is on a full court press to get on the Bill Maher show. Watch it with that in mind. Know that Bill Maher is one of the pettiest Fs in the country. And to get on his show, you have to, A, have a mostly conservative perspective on things. B, you have to really kiss his ass. And so Patrick Bet David, Project Get Me on Bill Maher.
Now, I think he's actually already been on Bill Maher, maybe. I don't know. When I was looking at the clip for this, I feel like I saw. So maybe he wants to go on again. I don't know. But Bill Maher's been having a lot of people on. And I guess he had Sean Penn on the other day, and he was trying to get, his new thing is he's trying to get these celebrities to agree with him on his, stances, on his horrible stances. And they don't. They don't. Like, he was trying to get Sean Penn to, excuse him going to meet with Trump. It was a whole thing. And Sean Penn, didn't do it. And so... Bill Maher had Chris Pratt on the other day, and Chris Pratt was like, man, I really like RFK, and I just don't understand, why people don't think he's, a good guy, and, it must be so sad to hate Trump so much that you just can't admit when he's done something good. And my question is, okay, what good has he done? What good? Tell me, because I would love to know. None. None that I know of. And, people, my parents will do that to me. Well, you can never admit when he does something right. I'm like, okay, well then, yeah, because what has he done that's right? So a lot of people were coming after Chris Pratt, but I already knew Chris Pratt was, yeah, I already knew Chris Pratt was like that, but anyway.
Ford. Look, I'll say this for Trump. He's got this idea that America is still the biggest swinging dick in the world, and we have not used our power as much as we should. That's what the tariffs are about. We have the power to change these people's, other nations' trading practices with us, some of which were out of line. I'm surprised that people went along with it as much as they did. So he wasn't completely wrong about that. He said,
really
look,
loud?
NATO hasn't been paying their fair share. I'm going to make them do that. He wasn't wrong about that. And I'll tell you this, one thing about him that I know, I'm not going to tell you how I know, but a lot of people have seen the same thing. He really does hate war.
Okay, now the majority report, they're gonna get into this because of course that is such a blatant lie. And this is something that I talked about before with Jank and stuff. I really hate everyone who wants to act number one, that Donald Trump is anti-war. And that number two, all of these other conservatives were really anti-war when they were saying they were when they were running and after they won and stuff. None of them are anti-war. None of them. Maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene, but those are for other reasons because she wants to use that money for other reasons. But every other person who's a conservative, like Trump, Charlie Kirk, Tim Pool, all these people who say they're anti-war are not really anti-war because now they're willing to go along with whatever Donald Trump does and says. And so it's just silly. It's silly to say that they're anti-war because they're not. Donald Trump is not anti-war. He is dumb and thought that Putin respected him or that Putin would listen to him. Shocker, he's not. Shocker, he's so dumb. He literally recently had his audio leaked, and he said that he thought that Putin was going to you hear me like a tin can? No. Oh my goodness. I thought I was finally doing good. What is life? I actually don't know why. I haven't changed anything. That's actually really crazy. Okay, one sec. Let me check this. Edit filters. Okay. I have the gain on. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Is anything better? Please tell me if it's better. I'm so sorry. I don't know why it would be doing this. Maybe, oh, you know what I did change? Okay, never mind. I did change something. I changed the mic pattern. At least we hear you, but it feels like you're in a cave. No. Okay, no. I'm going to fix it. I think it's because of the mic pattern I had on. Let me know if that's any better. I changed it to cardioid. Okay, this is something I actually do know. I do know about the mic patterns. And I changed it to cardioid. Same. Oh my gosh. What is happening? Okay, wait. Okay. Is that better? Maybe that's better. Maybe. I'll delete that. Okay. Is it still the same? I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I really want it to be different. Okay, hopefully. I turned the gain up. Hopefully this works. I don't know. The only thing I changed was the mic pattern and the gain. Okay. All right. Well, a bit different. Not bad. I don't know what's happening. Like, I actually don't know what's happening. I could not tell you, and it's very frustrating. I'm not going to lie. Sorry. No. It's not your fault. Thank you for telling me. I just don't know, like, I'm just very confused. That's all. I don't know why. I just get confused because I don't understand really why it's not working. But, oh, you know what? I think I fixed it, actually. I think I fixed it. Okay. Sorry about that. I think I fixed it. All right. Let me know if I didn't. Okay. No. No, you didn't fix it. Damn it. Okay, well, we're going to let this play, and then I'm going to try to figure this out. Because, I don't know. Well, I got the internet to work. That's one thing.
Really does not like it when people die in war. There's 4 different wars.
It's almost like
Bill Maher. I am, well, there's things I could tell you about Bill Maher. I'm not going to tell you how I know them.
I could too.
There's so much I would love to know about being a 21-year-old girl.
I hate war so much. But Miriam Adelson asked me, to be fair, is Gaza really a war? It's more of a genocide.
Yeah.
Genocide, I like.
Love
Genocide's
genocide.
okay.
Yeah.
The war thing I don't like.
What could Bill possibly mean by that?
Oh, he means that when he went to dinner at the White House,
the thing we all ridiculed.
Trump said, "I hate war," and Bill was like, "Okay, I don't know what I'm going to eat more ferociously, this consommé, or you're telling me you hate war."
Oh, or I thought you were going a little bit more vulgar with that, but I'll restrain myself.
That's the funniest part about all this is they really think that they can. I don't know, maybe it's because I have it a different way. I'll try to do it this way. Anyway, that's what's like so funny about all this is they really think like all these people have deluded themselves into thinking that Donald Trump is actually anti-war when he's not. He's not anti-war at all. Like, he keeps bragging about how he stopped all these wars, but he has not. Okay, the Congo, like, he keeps saying that he stopped that. No, there are people starving there. Like, nothing about that is done or over with or good. And so it's really insane that people actually think that this man is anti-war. Again, I don't understand it. He also like helped start the war with Iran and always boasts about like being like, oh, I got rid of their nuclear. He's talking, I think, didn't he just draw up plans to do something with like Mexico? So this man is not anti-war, not at all, never has been. But everyone believes it because I don't know. I don't know. I think Bill Maher, I don't know what Bill Maher is doing. I think he's just become like a shit lib. And that's my take on it. The ship are on their way. Yeah, exactly. And so it's kind of insane. Like, it's insane that everyone still thinks he's anti-war and still says this. And even Fox News now every time like reporters or Fox News talk to him, they're like about like the Ukraine and Russia war. He's always like, yeah, we know that you stopped like 6 other wars and that you should get the Nobel Peace Prize. But like, what are you going to do about this? And it's just so dumb because first, he did not stop 6 other wars. He always says that he helped with India, Pakistan, but he didn't. He literally did not. They came out afterwards and said, we don't know why he's saying this. That's not how it happened. And so I don't know. It's just insane. Like, honestly, it's insane that people keep doing this. And even like journalists are doing it. Just like everyone is just kissing his ass. It's kind of insane. Let me know if this sounds any better. All right. I don't know what I'm doing. All right. Here we go. I like thought that the mic was going to be better this time, but it wasn't. He menaced Norway with tariffs. God, he better not get the Nobel Peace Prize. If he does, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. All right, let's finish this. We're only 3 minutes in. It's a 10-minute video. That's so funny.
Like, all that it takes to win over Bill Maher is saying, I hate bad things. Cool.
Genuinely, for him to say
That's
that,
right.
wow.
So you know what it is with Bill. They hate people like Bill.
Of course.
The left.
Yeah,
Because,
thinking.
you know why?
I do. I can confirm. I hate Bill Maher 100%. I 100% hate Bill Maher every day. He is so annoying.
Because they're
I'll just remind people real quick that Bill Maher is somebody who in like the early 2000s was saying it's good that we went into Vietnam.
A little echo twangy. Oh no. Is it me or is it the video? Because I've been trying to fix that and I'm not sure how to do it. I'm going to have to watch like a YouTube video on it. Cause I have to put like an audio output on it. He should on the left nonstop. Your mic. Damn it. I swear to God. I don't know what the fuck is happening. I'm sorry. It's so funny. Going live is much harder than just like doing videos, I gotta say. But I like going live. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Okay.
Because we needed to show the world that we were going to stand up to communism and we had to do it someplace, so it might as well have been.
Now, I hate Bill Maher because he doesn't like war. That's why. That's why everybody.
The guy who was defending Vietnam
Exactly.
in the 90s and 2000s.
Yep.
Okay,
there's
we'll see
too
if
much
this is better.
reason.
Yeah.
There's too much reason. He is willing. Go to the Power versus Force, Rob, if you could. The chat.
I think this is it. Is the power? No, it's not better. Okay. I don't know why I keep thinking I'm gonna do better and I don't. I don't know. Okay. Wait. I think maybe I can fix this. Okay, well, we'll keep watching this as I try to fix it. But this is what I was talking about. There's some like emotional intelligence chart.
When you go to the Power versus Force, Bill Maher is willing and is accepting and is able to reason. Those are all the qualities
Oh,
they
he's
hate.
past courage.
Look at courage level 200. Then go neutrality. Then go willingness. He's willing to go visit Trump. He is accepting that he won. He is willing to reason. And I actually think Bill Maher loves America.
Pause it for a second. Wait a second. Okay, keep this up here. I'm trying to figure out. He's got courage. He's up at the 200 scale map of consciousness.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I did not do anything different. I don't know why it's doing this, but I'll try to figure it out. But this is so funny, this map of consciousness thing. They also are like, it's also really funny because where is he at? Okay, power, force, God view. Okay, life view, level, scale, emotion, process. Weird. This is so weird. And it's just different. Like, so I guess if you're right here, if you're over, I don't know, like, if you're over in, like, the God view, I guess that means you act like God because it's all being one loving, which is weird because is anyone ever going to get to that point? Like, this is very strange. It feels like Scientology. It really does. It does feel like Scientology. It's so weird. Yeah, enlightenment, and then there's a scale, emotion, process. This is so insane. I don't understand it. This is kind of weird. Okay.
Wait, where's courage? Where am I looking?
Right in the middle, the yellow.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't understand why Patrick Bet-David is
He has courage because he went to go meet with Trump. Please.
bothering himself dealing with somebody who's not even in the green zone. Like, I mean, I get it, okay, green zone people, they're on their way to truly loving America, but the blue zone people are the only folks that I would associate with.
I'm starting to be convinced by this because courage and pride are just separated by a thin line there, and I think that might be some of the problem. Is
Oh my God.
delineated between those two.
That is so beautiful.
I just don't get. Is he not disdainful and condemning? It seems to me to be down around like a 50 or 75. His whole show is disdainful and condemning and vindictive. Is vindictive down there? Because Bill Maher is widely known as the most vindictive person, one of the most vindictive persons in show business, and that is a business full of vindictiveness.
It's hard to be known for that.
But okay, all right. I hate to argue with Patrick Bet-David about where to place people on the map of consciousness, but go ahead.
Don't go neutrality. Don't go willingness. He's willing to go visit Trump. He is accepting that he won.
This is so dumb. And it's they're like, oh, the left hates him because he's willing to talk to Trump because he wants to, like, because he won. And it's like, oh, okay, yes, he did win. I can acknowledge that he won and still not want to talk to him because he's a piece of shit. Because he's a horrible person. And I don't care what anyone says. I don't care how much people try to excuse this man. He is. He really is. So we should just stop, like, acting like this man is doing anything good for society because he's not.
He's willing to reason, and I actually think Bill Maher loves America.
Wow, he's up
I
there.
actually think Bill
Oh,
Maher
he loves America.
I don't want to go that far.
He loves America. That's what they want, is he loves America. He loves America. That's all they care about. That's the new thing. Like, oh, you need to love America. Like, you have to love America. Okay, sorry, I keep doing this. It's not new. It's what they've always done. But now they really, like, that's just what it's become so simple now. It's like, you want to be conservative and right-wing MAGA or you hate America, which is really dumb. And it's like, it's become so simplistic now that anyone who wants to have, like, a serious conversation about things, they're just like, well, you hate America. No, I mean, well, I don't know, to varying degrees, but I mean, I want it to get better. I want it to be better. I want it to be different, but unfortunately, I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Of course,
I believe Bill loves America. I believe he's.
I believe
what's
he
the
loves
point of where it's going
America.
to today?
Yeah, what is the
Original
point?
statement with Bill.
What is the point? Oh, I need an opportunity to compliment Bill. He loves America.
Is Bill working on real time over the summer? Because I'm going to make a bet, if that's the case, that Patrick Bet-David is on within the next month.
Oh, he desperately wants to be.
Patrick has been on Club Random, but he hasn't.
Oh, okay. So he's been on Club Random. I was wondering because it was like I saw a video with them together, so I know he did something.
Got the call up as far as I can tell to the actual real time.
Was he
Okay.
on the episode where Bill Maher brought a bunch of children on camera and asked them about pornography? And by children, I mean like literally 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds.
I remember that, and he was asking about like their gender and stuff, and he was being transphobic because he's a transphobic piece of shit. But he was being transphobic, and he was asking these literal children. It's like, you are getting mad at people because you're like, oh, gender ideology in the schools. But you're talking to literal children and you're the one asking this and they're looking at you like you're dumb because you are. Like, what the fuck?
trans.
No, but
Yeah.
here's one from the Reddit review. This Patrick guy is remarkably intellectually dishonest, lightweight of the highest order. His wildly obvious attempts to redirect Bill by flattering him silly to reveal how bone dry his conversational cupboard truly is.
Go ahead.
Well, you know, it's you know, they're not coming here. They're not coming. There is a reason. There is a reason. Why would somebody? I went and sat down in front of 20 anti-capitalist socialists.
Oh, he did Jubilee. Oh my God, he did Jubilee. Okay, I watched Amanda Seales Jubilee, and she did really good. It was really good. I don't know. I get depressed every time I watch someone on Jubilee because I just. You hear some of these people and what they say, and it's just like so depressing. It's so depressing that people actually think this way. Like, it's so depressing that people have these views, and most of them are young, and so it's a very depressing thing when you watch Jubilee. It's also really frustrating because there's all these people with like literal Nazi views, and they still keep them on, and it's a very frustrating thing.
In LA, knowing the fact that these guys are in college right now, they're being fed everything by the professors on the
They're being fed everything by the professors. Okay, dude. Sure. All right.
left.
Wait, can
They
you
have every history story. I'm not
Really
reading
take it
history books
down,
like the.
But that's him saying he just did Jubilee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, surrounded
Yeah.
by anti-capitalists.
That'll be fun. Maybe, or maybe it won't be.
What they're reading right now. They're in school. I knew what was going.
I think it'll be fun. I actually think it'll be fun because hopefully the people who are anti-capitalist, Jubilee probably got dirty money. Oh yeah, I'm sure they have. But I think this one might be good because at least hopefully the anti-capitalist people will know what they're talking about. And I mean, I don't know. Every time I've heard Patrick Bet-David talk, he seems like he's just making shit up. He's just like one of those, like, I went to business school, okay, and I went to, my major was entrepreneurship, all right? So, like, I've heard people just, like, talk shit, you know, just like ramble. You know, I'm sure I did it in a class where it's like you're trying to be like, oh, this is this great idea, and you just like, it's just like word vomit, and you're just trying to make it sound good, you know? And I think that's what a lot of it is. And so it's funny because like that's how I see Patrick Bet-David. Like I see Patrick Bet-David as one of those people who just like does a word salad and then just like tries to make it seem like it makes sense. And none of it has any substance. Usually, like this chart has no substance. Who cares about Bill Maher? Why? Like, what is like, like what is even this segment? You know? But it's so funny because it means absolutely nothing. And so that's why hopefully the people who are anti-capitalist will do better against him. Let's hope.
I'll sit down and talk to you. Let's talk. What do you want to talk about? These topics, these issues? Let's sit down and talk about it. The people on this side, they're willing to entertain ideas that they have
Not true at all. Not true.
knowledge on, that they're willing to go. The only reason you don't want to go sit down and have a debate with a topic is what? It's not a topic I'm knowledgeable on.
Yeah.
Hey, Vinny, we want you to come and debate why tariffs suck. Guess what? If you do it, you're
I have one or two good points, but I'm not going to.
But if they want to debate Tom on tariffs, guess what? Tom should do it. He would do it, right? So the reality of it is.
Oh,
like
wait a
this
second. Are we
department-
pretending again that Tom is their policy guy?
Tom, the policy guy.
Tom wears glasses,
Stupid.
so he knows.
Tom the Wolf.
Oh my god.
Tom's off camera, just go. Spit take. Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
On tariffs.
I'm ready.
And even Bill is starting to say something like that. No one is surprised. It's to the point that right now he's giving credits on the tariffs. Do you know what China just said? China just admitted that Trump's tariffs are taking a toll on their economy.
I love when he says this, and I feel like this is an example of him just saying shit and just like it not making sense because he's trying to say, oh, he's hurting China, but what Patrick Bet-David is not understanding or not saying is that, yeah, it's also going to hurt us. Like, this is also going to hurt us. This is not going to be good for us. So why are you acting like this is some win? It's not. Like, prices are going up and they're going to continue to go up and everyone knows it. And he's sitting here like, oh no, but like China, man, but like he's also hurting China. He might be hurting us, but like he's also hurting China. So like, isn't that worth it? No.
Think about that. That they have to finally admit that it's taking a toll.
Pretty sure China has from the very beginning said there's no winners in a
Yes. Yes. They did not want this, okay?
We're all
It's too much reason
interconnected.
for me. My brain is shutting off.
Well,
because
you
of
are
all the
not
reason.
yet in the green level of the consciousness chart, so it makes sense that you can't.
I like how
absorb these
Vinny's just
ideas.
oblivious to the fact that they use him as a stand-in for dumb guy that isn't ready.
Oh, Vinny. Oh, my God. The Patrick Bet-David show is so insane. Hassan really wants to go on there, and I actually want to see what it would be like because I would love to see Vinny just go insane again like he did on the Sam because he just goes insane. The world is going to make more deals with China. Yeah, of course they are. And, I mean, I don't blame them, but I don't know. I mean, all European leaders seem to be pretty cucked to Donald Trump, so I don't know, man. I am not impressed with European leaders because they just don't seem to, like, they don't want to seem to fight back, which I understand. Like, you know, they don't want to ruin their economy, but, like, at some point, you gotta... At some point, I feel like you need to stand your ground some way, somehow. And, like, when they came with Zelensky, I feel like they were just so, like, I don't know. I just feel like they weren't really, I feel like the whole point of it was they were supposed to be there as like a show of force, but like, I feel like it wasn't that at all. And so I'm just very confused as to like what is going on with other countries and like how, like, I mean, I know they haven't like made a deal per se yet that he keeps saying that they have with Europe, but I think Europe said that wasn't true. I don't know. I feel like it's all very confusing, and some of them I worry that other countries, like I feel like, you know, within our country, our systems and our people are not fighting back enough. Like the Democrats are not fighting back barely at all. And then like, I feel like other countries are also not, not fighting back, and I don't know what to do with that. So yes. All right. Also, is my mic still bad? I think maybe I know what it is. I turned on my audio processing, so it could be that, now that I think about it. But just let me know.
On their economy, let me read this to you.
I don't think we need that.
Let's just can we go to the well, we've got something like 60 to 70% of economists right now, no, they could be wrong, who are predicting stagflation in this country.
Yes.
China has said there's no winners in a trade war. It very well may be the case that they're feeling the pinch of the economy, but guess what?
Oh no. Okay, it must be the audio processing. Maybe after this video I'll like stop and come back. No, I don't know. It has to be. Europe isn't as close to America, like Canada and Mexico are taking much less of his BS. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Like Canada, I feel like is fighting back, and then, well, kind of. I feel like Mexico's fighting back. Yeah, thank you. It's okay. I don't know what to do. He got to deal with the UK. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. I don't know what's wrong with my mic. I really don't. I haven't really changed anything. I'm very confused, but I did lower the audio processing when I was trying to figure out why my internet wasn't working. So that could be it. There were the Dems last year. Yeah, I think Mexico's fighting back a bit. And like I do think Claudia Sheinbaum is a badass. So like, you know, I think, yeah, and I think I get why Canada and Mexico would be a little bit more like scared or want to fight back. 'Cause they're just like, you know, your mic is way louder. Oh no. Okay, that's because I put gain on it because I was worried. Let me fix it. Okay, let's see. All right, maybe this will help. I don't know. Okay. I really am so sorry. Okay.
This country is too. I don't know if you saw the jobs numbers. Oh, they're fake. Right.
No, they're
Trump
fake.
says they're real enough that we should cut rates. Right. Unbelievable.
I can't tell if I'm turning it up or down. I don't know. I can't tell.
Consciousness strikes again. Where did they place themselves on this again? They like in the.
They're probably towards the top.
They're almost enlightenment.
Enlightenment. Oh my god. Okay, wait.
Yeah, there's no chair under Patrick. You know.
Okay, that was loud. I could hear it.
They just have a back.
Floating cross.
There's no bottom chair, part of that chair. It's just like a floating board, and he just sort of sits up there. Hey folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
Okay, that was really funny. I just wanted to watch that because I thought that was really funny. Man, I'm super bummed that my mic. Okay, I think this is okay. I'm super bummed that my mic is like not working properly. And I don't think I can change it without starting the stream over, so I'm just not gonna do that right now. But I really wanted to talk about Wesley Bell next, because he had a town hall here in St. Louis, and I actually went to the protest. It got louder. Wait, did it get louder now? What? I thought I just turned it down. Oh my god. I'm having all the issues. Would you believe? You probably wouldn't believe this. Would you believe? Okay, is that... I don't know what you're saying no to. Would you believe that I actually used to be, I went to school for like audio engineering, and I used to set up for concerts and stuff like that. That was a very long time ago. And this is a little bit different. No, but it was. Okay, good. Yeah, I could hear it. I definitely heard that when it did get too loud. Okay, so I don't know. I'm like debating if I should stop and start over, but it's fine. So, because I feel bad because my mic is just not working, and I'm very confused as to why not. But Wesley Bell had a town hall here in St. Louis that I went to, and keep going. Okay, thank you. I'm like, if it's like super, super horrible, just like let me know. I don't know what I can do, because what I need to do, I think, is change the audio processing bit rate, whatever. Anyway, doesn't matter. Like I keep saying, one day I'll figure it out. But anyway, let's talk about Wesley Bell, because I hate Wesley Bell. I've hated him for a very long time, and I've talked about how much I've hated him multiple times before. And so we're going to talk about what happened last night at his town hall. We hear you, but you were in a cave. I hate that. I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do. Like, streaming is like wild, man. Okay, so anyway. So basically, last night, okay, so Wesley Bell, he is the congressperson in St. Louis, and thank you. Thank you. He's a congressperson in St. Louis, and he's the one who ran against Cori Bush. And the reason that he ran against her is because he actually got like a shit ton of AIPAC money, and he started running. I remember I think he started kind of running at like the end, almost the end, not the complete end, but like he kind of came in late. He wasn't running from the beginning. From what I remember, because Cori Bush was one of the first Congress members to speak out about Palestine, and yeah, St. Louis did show up. It was amazing. But he literally, he got all this money from AIPAC, millions of dollars, and he just to run against Cori Bush, because Cori Bush was one of the first people to speak out about Palestine in Congress. And so AIPAC went after her and unseated her. And I remember seeing all of the ads, and it was basically like, she's not the real Democrat, all that kind of stuff, right? All that bullshit. And something I will consistently say, and I will say every single time I talk about Cori Bush, is that she is actually, like, she is serious. She is a real one, and she believes what she says, and she lives her life that way. I have seen her at multiple protests. I have seen her at multiple community things, even now. And like, she really means it. She really cares. This is like, she actually cares. So it sucks that she's not in Congress anymore, but I know she's still doing things, in the community, and she's still showing up for the community anyway. So, she's the real deal. Like, Cori Bush is the real deal, always has been, like, always will be. And I'll just always say that because I've met her a couple times and she's really nice. Yeah, she's great. And so he's the one who ran against her. So I already hated him because he was running against her and because he unseated her. But he also, like, there's a lot of past things that have been really bad, but we're going to go for the AIPAC stuff first. So like I said, he got millions of dollars from AIPAC. He recently just went on a trip to Israel. Like a couple weeks ago. So as the Palestinians are literally starving, this man is in Israel doing a PR tour, which is psychotic. She will fight to her last breath. She really will. She's an amazing person. So is her dad. I met her dad, and he's like the nicest person ever. He like remembers everyone. He's really cool. But yes, and so Wesley Bell went to Israel a couple weeks ago, and he literally went on this PR tour as Palestinians were starving. And Wesley Bell has been getting protested a lot. Like, he got protested at the Pride Parade. Every single time I've seen him at the Pride Parade in St. Louis, I have flicked him off because I hate him so much. And so... and so he's been protested a lot ever since he got this position. And we're gonna talk about, okay, one second, it's gonna start playing. We're gonna talk about the town hall that he had last night.
Within the past 2 hours, a contentious town hall debate wrapped up.
And he had it in downtown St. Louis. So there was a protest, and he was having a town hall. This is his second town hall. It's his first in person. So his first town hall was online. This is his second one in person. Now, I am his constituent, so I have called him a lot, and I did call him about going to Israel. And he actually has people who answer the phone, so I always feel kind of bad because, like, most people, like most senators, most Congress people, when you call them, there's not, like, no one actually answers the phone. Like, he still has people, like, actually answering the phone. That's how, like, new he is and how much people don't know about him. But I mean, I think a lot of people know about him now because he's been making the rounds. But he literally, like, has people working there. So I called and I kind of went off and I was like, I'm sorry, like, I get it, you just work for him, but, like, this is really despicable and he has blood on his hands, and I hope one day, and I was like, one day when people look back at this in history, they're gonna look and see what he did. And so I kind of went off, and she was like, no, it's okay. She was like, thank you for your passion. And I feel like that's funny because later in this video, he talks about how he kind of figured this was going to happen because people are just very passionate. And it's just kind of, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. It's just kind of like, demeaning. I feel like he's demeaning people. He's like, oh, they're just passionate. They don't know, the way this whole thing, how they talk about the whole protest is actually it is very demeaning. But we'll watch this. But yeah, I was there. I was not inside. I was outside. Someone did, comment on my picture and was like, I hope you, pressed him on the money from AIPAC and all this other kind of stuff. And they did inside, but I was not inside. It was a ticketed event. But I was outside, and there were a lot of people outside protesting as well. And there were, like, banners everywhere. Like, there was nobody that was going to that town hall that didn't know, like, that people were out there protesting. So let's watch this.
with Congressman Wesley Bell in downtown St. Louis. A group of demonstrators showing up, challenging Bell on his stance on the conflict in the Middle East.
5 on your side's Brent Solomon is just back from that heated exchange where at times Bell could barely get a word in. Brent?
Yeah, liken it to a classroom of rowdy students where
This is the part where I'm like, this is so insane. This is so demeaning, and it's so frustrating. Here, let's go back. Let's hear the whole thing. Okay.
of rowdy students where a teacher is trying to take command and get the students to listen. Half of the room coming out to genuinely hear what the congressman had to say.
I hate this. Like, I hate this so much. This, like, oh, they're just, they're just like random protesters, and everybody else was sane, but these protesters, they were crazy, and like, they just didn't want to listen. Wesley Bell is like distinctly a horrible human being, okay? And oh my OMG passionate, another Slotkin. No, he is. And we're gonna after we watch this, we're gonna go and we're gonna look at some of the articles about him, because he had dirt before he ran for Congress. Okay, this man, the only reason he won is because of the money he got from AIPAC and other groups. That is the only reason he won, because if he wouldn't have done that, he would not have won. If he didn't have the money behind him that he did, he would not have won, point blank, period. And so, yes, they're there to answer, and he did not answer, and his answers were horrible. And something that I also want to mention is that he does not, I truly don't think he cares about St. Louis. There has been so many allegations against him for like corruption, SA, discrimination, and like there has been like he does not care. He does not care. And I just don't understand how you think that this man is going to care about you legitimately and legitimately care about the concerns of this community when he has taken all this money from AIPAC, when they're talking about the tornado and getting FEMA funds. Why? He was just in Israel. Why wasn't he here? Why wasn't he here? Cori Bush has been here. Cori Bush has helped with the tornado relief. Why hasn't he been here? Where has he been? Josh Hawley did a press conference for some PR. What did Wesley Bell do? Where has he been? And so I just want to say that because I haven't seen Wesley Bell anywhere. I'm his constituent. I go to a lot of these community events. I haven't seen him at all. So he does not care. Also, not Israel, but there's an Israeli company that is going to put an Israeli chemical company that is going to put a plant in downtown St. Louis that is going to, which 9 times out of 10, what those do is the waste actually gets into the waterways. It gets into the air, and it is very bad. And they do this in predominantly communities that are either rural or urban or black and brown communities, because usually they don't have the resources to fight back. And so now they are putting that in St. Louis. Do you think that Wesley Bell is going to say anything about that? Do you think he's going to stop that? No, he's not. He's not going to do that. Also, something else that I always like to, good day, everyone. Good day. Yeah, the newscaster's voice. Yeah, it's crazy. His voice is so bad. I know. He's like, it's so like, it's like a stereotypical newscaster. The EPA don't have teeth anymore anyway. Exactly. And do you think Wesley Bell's going to stop that? Or do you think when people start protesting that, he's going to be the same? He's going to have the same platitudes. He's going to have the same exact kind of demeanor. He does not care. And I just really want everyone to understand that, because I do think that there are some like Democrats, like I do think a lot of the people who went there sincerely, and like went there because they either liked him or they didn't know much about him or whatever, like I do think like a lot of them did come out and like agree with us, but then there were some that were just like looking at us and giving us dirty looks and walking away because they had to walk past us to get to their cars. And so like I think some of them just don't understand. I'm like, he is not going to stand up for you. When this stuff starts poisoning your water, he's not going to stand up for you. He's not going to care. He is getting paid not to do that. He literally has been given millions of dollars not to do that. So he's not going to stand up for you. He also, like, what I was going to mention before is that the IDF actually trains a lot of, like, police departments. And during the Black Lives Matter protests in Ferguson, they were using the same tactics as the IDF. The IDF taught them those tactics. And Cori Bush talks about it all the time. She talks about how there were Palestinians who were protesting with her, and they taught her how to deal with, like, being pepper spray, being rubber bullets and stuff like that. Like they taught them how to deal with that because this originated over there, because they taught them these things. And that is something that Cori Bush always says, and I love repeating it because I just feel like it brings everything together so succinctly, that these issues are interconnected. They are 100% interconnected. And they're also interconnected because if he is going to get millions of dollars from a foreign lobby, like, what makes you think he gives a fuck about any of us? He doesn't. And so I just, like, it's a platitude now. Yeah, and we're all gonna die. Honestly, I get worried about that a lot. But that, like, all this to say, this man does not care, okay? And he has always been, like, a horrible person because he has had other government jobs before this, and he's never been good. Like, he's never been good. So, like, I didn't expect him to be good now, you know? Like, that's not what I didn't expect that from him. I knew he was going to be shitty because I knew when he was running what he was about. Yeah, anyway, let's get back to this. Sorry, he just makes me really mad. Like, he actually makes me so mad all of the time.
The other side pushing back, yelling, and at times even standing and turning their back.
Get out, ma'am. Got to go. Security in the way. So why not? Let's talk about it. So let's talk about it then. Can we talk? Can we talk? Can we talk? You can't.
Congressman Wesley Bell in his second town hall after winning his seat in the U.S. House. He came to talk about a variety of issues, his work getting FEMA assistance for tornado survivors, gun violence claiming lives in the city. But for most of the conversation, a crowd of demonstrators that assembled both inside and outside interjected, questioning his...
Yeah, we were outside. I was outside. Australia stood up to Israel and just got our diplomats and staff kicked out of Israel because we support Palestinian state. I love that. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I, like... Unfortunately, he is literally like Wesley Bell is, like, quite literally bought and paid for. Like, the only reason that they gave him money and he ended up running is because they specifically were trying to get Cori Bush out of that seat. And so I knew this is going to be what it was. Like, from the very beginning, I knew this is how Wesley Bell was going to be. Because again, like, he literally just, like, this is what he's getting. This is what he got paid for. This is why he got all that money. I think it was like $12 million or something like that. That's insane. And he's like a freshman member of Congress. And, like, there are people who've been there for much longer who are still pro-Israel who don't get as much money. And it's, like, crazy. It's crazy. They spend shit tons of money on that race. So much money on that race just to get her out of there. And it's because I feel like she's a great voice and she speaks out and she's not afraid to speak out. And she just, I don't know, I just love Cori Bush. I could glaze her all day. But, and I'm just so upset that she's, like, not our congresswoman anymore and we have to deal with him. But like we were outside and it was crazy because they had shit tons of cops there, lots of security. And so, like, I think that they were already, like, I don't know. I think that they were already, like, they knew that that people were protesting and they knew that, like, I don't know. Listen, the St. Louis police scare me because, well, our state actually controls them now, which is insane, but they do. And city no longer controls them, which is crazy. But, yeah, but we were out there. We were trying to get them to hear us inside, and I think they did at one point hear us inside, but I'm not sure.
Support from pro-Israel interest group AIPAC and what they refer to as genocide in Gaza.
When it comes to the word genocide, I kind of disagree with it because the bottom line is, can I finish? Israel was attacked by an openly genocidal terrorist group. Like, how do you get around that? We need to surge aid to make sure that people get fed in Gaza.
How? See, like, this is the part that actually pisses me off, because he's trying to say the right thing of like, oh, we need to make sure they get food, but he's not saying how. How are we going to get them food? How are you going to get them food? How are you going to advocate to get them food? How are you going to advocate to get them mail? Like, aid. Tell me specifics. Tell me specifics. Because Israel is the one blocking aid to Gaza. They are blocking it. Okay? They are blocking it. The American-backed freaking aid group that's out there giving out aid right now is murdering people. So how are you going to do that? How are you advocating for that? What are you doing? And he's not doing anything. He's not doing anything because he's not, because that's not what he's supposed to do. That's not what he's in government to do. That's not what he's in Congress to do. And so, like, it's crazy to me because he keeps saying this, and he thinks that this is, and I think a lot of Democrats think that just saying, well, I don't know, but, like, they do need aid. Like, they do need aid. I don't know about everything else, but, like, they do need aid. No. And tell me specifics, because you just saying that, oh, we should get them aid isn't doing anything. Our government is no closer to doing anything about it. And you obviously, you're just saying shit to say shit. You don't actually care. How about just stop arming Israel, then address the starvation? It's all BS talking about food aid. No, it really is. It really is. And he has voted for, of course, and he's voted to send them weapons. So, like, so I'm like, you're not doing anything, man. You're not doing anything. And you're just mad that people are calling you out. And yeah, it was honestly, it was crazy. It was wild.
In the war, we need to return every single hostages, and Hamas has to go.
And that's the new thing right now. Or well, I mean, it's not new, but there was supposed to be a ceasefire deal, but then Benjamin Netanyahu said, oh, well, they need to release all of the hostages. The original deal was only going to release some, because they were going to keep some, and then the new deal is, oh, they have to release them or nothing, or we're going to keep going. And the thing that a lot of people are saying, like, oh, well, then why can't they just release them? When they release them, I think it's naive to think that Benjamin Netanyahu is just going to stop, that things are just going to end. That's not what's going to happen. That's not what's going to happen at all. And like, all of these people who are saying this, I think he knows better. Right? Like, I think he knows damn well and good that if they give up the hostages, not shit is going to change. It's probably going to get worse at that point. And I think he knows that. I think this is just a talking point. I think some people, maybe regular people, don't know that, but he knows this shit. He knows that, okay? And he's doing it anyway. He's saying it anyway because he thinks it'll hold people over. But it's not going to.
At the end of that town hall, I got an opportunity to...
No, he won't. He's going to make shit worse. He is. Exactly. Who do you think believes what they are saying? It's obvious by the crowd. No one's buying it. Yeah, no one bought it. And like I said, there were regular people in there who went there, like, not to protest and just to be there, that came out and, like, and I think there were some that actually started protesting with us. And then there were some who came out and were like, yeah, no, we agree. And so, like, no one agrees with him on this issue. Like, no one agrees with him. No one. And actually, I saw a post by someone that said they're worried that people like Wesley Bell, who don't listen to their constituents, who are so far from their constituents' views, that they're going to, voters are going to go down. People are going to feel more apathy and aren't going to want to vote anymore, and will hinder voter turnout. And I agree. Like, isn't there like a new poll that came out, or a new study that came out, that the Democrats, their voter registration is going down, and it's like really shitty? Yeah. No, like, of course it is. I don't understand how none of them get this. I don't understand how they all just keep going, like, around going la 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 la, and they are so far from their base, so extremely far away from their base, and they just don't, I just don't think they care. You know, there are some people, like, Hassan talked to Rashida Tlaib, and Rashida Tlaib said that, when people go and do stuff like this, when you protest like this, it actually, it does change the rhetoric a little bit, because they don't want this to happen. They don't want this to be a spectacle. But a part of me, I don't know, a part of me just thinks that, a lot of Democrats and a lot of the, corporate Democrats, they don't care what we think. I don't even think it's about, not wanting to, I think eventually they'll just be like the Democrats, where they just won't do town halls anymore because they just don't want to deal with it. I'm not the Democrats, the Republicans. They'll just be like the Republicans and not do town halls anymore because they just don't want to deal with it. I can see them doing that. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. And so, I don't know. I think some of them, it is just, cynical, and they just don't care what we think, and they don't care. They just want the lobbying money, and they just don't care what their constituents think. I do think that that's a lot of it. And maybe that's cynical, and I don't know, doomer, but I don't know. I still think this helps, though. I still think this helps because, as you can see, I think the narrative has shifted, and so I do think it helps. That's why Dems lost. 100%. That is 100% why they lost. And that's why I get something that really upsets me is a lot of people who are like, oh, well, if you guys would have just if you guys would have just shut up and not protested Kamala or Biden, this wouldn't have happened. And that's not true. That's not true at all. I'm sorry, but they fucked themselves over with that. They did. They did. And no one can tell me otherwise. No one can tell me otherwise. They did. They didn't want to listen to their base. They wanted to be the same old corporate Democrats as always. And people just aren't looking for that anymore. This is just not what people want. And you can see that because they just keep going down in popularity, and yet they don't learn any lessons. It's honestly amazing. It's amazing. That's why sometimes I'm because Hassan, I know I keep talking about Hassan, but he was saying that, he just thought that he thought that, he was cynical, and he just thought that they didn't want to change, but now he thinks that they're just stupid because he's, met people in their aides and stuff. No, I think there are some that just don't want to change. I do. I don't know. How else am I supposed to think at this point? What else am I supposed to think at this point? It all helps. Doing nothing is what makes things worse. Yeah, that's true. Yes, it all helps. Everything helps. Yes, 100%. Yeah. They called the electors bedwetters. No, seriously. I think the Democrats look down on their base, and I think they just don't listen. And, I don't, it's not going well for them. You would think all of the things that Trump is doing, how authoritarian he's being, you would think that the Democrats would have a higher favorability rate. They don't. They don't, and they can only blame themselves. They can only blame themselves. It's really ridiculous how poorly they are doing. They only use shame. They do, and it's not going to work anymore.
Catch up with the congressman.
Did this go as you expected?
Okay, so what's really funny is I don't know if it were so the door is behind him. So there was one point when it was over, right? And and they didn't show you how crazy it got. There were multiple protests. There were multiple people in there who were protesting that literally got I think one, her hair got pulled. She got pulled by her hair. Another guy got punched. They were it was not okay. It was not okay at all. They were using lots of force, and that doesn't surprise me because Wesley Bell, he actually I know people who have protested when he was running at his campaign office and arrested them and stuff, and so there were no arrests last night, but it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all. So it doesn't surprise me. But yeah, they were not the security there. Well, they had actual police officers as security. There were police, like I said, there were police everywhere. Everywhere. Let me tell you, everywhere. They were everywhere. And so shame and sandwiches. Yeah. And so, he's going to act like this wasn't that big of a deal, but it was. And he wants to act like it was all nonchalant, but it wasn't. Okay. They had security guards everywhere. They had police everywhere. And they were scared to leave. There was this one guy that was trying to that wanted to leave. And the cops were looking at the door because we were all protesting by the door. And the cops were looking at it. They were looking at the guy are you going to really try to leave? Do you know what happened? he just left. He left. We didn't do anything because what do you think we're doing? Like, we're just protesting Wesley Bell because he's a piece of shit. Like, you think, it's so insane what they think of, like, protesters. They were, like, looking at us like they were going to be so scared to leave the building. And then this guy just, like, walked out. Like, it was so insane. I remember looking at them and being like, what the fuck? Like, it was so insane. But here, let's listen to his reaction.
And actually, I thought it would be a little even more contentious, to be perfectly honest, because there's a lot of people that are passionate about their issues, and
there's a lot of people that are passionate. They're just so passionate. That's what his aide said to me when I called about this. Thank you for your passion. Like, what the fuck? Literally. Wesley Bell more like Wesley's hell. Honestly. No, he's like, I thought there would be more contention. Why? Because you literally get protested everywhere you go in St. Louis because people know who you are. Like, because people in St. Louis, like, they know, like, no, literally, he gets protested almost everywhere he goes in St. Louis. So, like, don't let him fool you, okay? Like, also, don't let him fool you. There were a lot of people outside. We made a lot of noise, and, like, they were literal, like, police officers scared to leave the building. It was, like, insane. Which, I'm like, there was no reason to be scared, but it was just, like, it was so insane. But he looks like he's going to cry because they don't like me. Honestly, and he's like, I thought it was going to be more contentious. Shut up. It was contentious. And he's like, I'm going to do another town hall. Okay, man. Like, okay.
in this world in the country, so it's not just here.
Despite the uproar and chanting from the crowd, we have seen politicians call it quits and wrap up early. Bell stayed for that hour-and-a-half conversation.
I don't actually think that was true. I actually think he did wrap up early. I don't think that was true. I think he did wrap up early. I'm not sure. I don't know how late it was supposed to go, but I know, like, I think they did wrap up early, and I know that he had to leave, like, later than he wanted because we were protesting, and I guess they were scared to let him leave. I don't know. It was really dumb. It was so dumb.
We spoke about a few other topics, including his former opponent, Cori Bush.
Okay, that's all. But yeah, and so that's basically what happened last night. It was good. There were a lot of people yucking it up with a reporter when his constituents are outraged. Genocide, starvation, passionate. Nothing says sellout more disrespectful. Can't rep sellout any better. No, literally, like, he is such a sellout, and that was one of the banners that was up. Was like, Wesley Bell's a sellout, and there were a lot of people, like, because like I said, I was outside, and there were a lot of people who, like, were honking their horns. There was only 2 people who, like, got upset with us. Like, one lady flipped us off, and then another guy just kept yelling at us, and I just laughed at them. Because I just think it's funny. I'm like, okay, man, whatever. Because everyone else, like, literally everyone else was like, there were a couple of people who joined from, like, driving by, like, it's like, yeah, anyway. So, like, I just laughed at those people because I'm like, okay, man, whatever. But now I want to show you some things about his past. Oh, that's my playlist for today. Okay, so Wesley Bell. This is one I think is the most damning about Wesley Bell, but Wesley Bell announces he will not bring charges after reinvestigation into death of Michael Brown. So Wesley Bell was the St. Louis County prosecutor, and he said that he was not going to pursue charges after a new investigation in the 2014 death of Michael Brown. Bell said the decision came after a 5-month review of documents and other evidence. The office's newly formed conviction and incident review unit conducted the review. And this is what he says. He says, the only question is whether we can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that crime was committed. And the answer to that is no, Bell said Thursday. And I would violate my ethical duties if I nonetheless brought charges, piece of shit. Sorry. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. I didn't transition it. My bad. His voice, his eyes, I know. But no, literally, like, this man has always been horrible, okay? This man is not a good man, all right? And he doesn't care about St. Louis. And I could say that a million times over. He does not care about St. Louis. I feel like this proves it. He doesn't care, like, of course he was a prosecutor, so I don't really, like, you know, I don't really, it doesn't surprise me that this is his take. But, like, he just doesn't, like, he doesn't care. This is not, like, he is not doing this for the community. He is doing this for himself. And I feel like that is so evident. And this is okay. What was important to us is we didn't want to create a circus. If we announced we were looking at it, we didn't want any outside or undue pressure to push us in one direction or another. We wanted to have the opportunity to look at it, give it a fair, fresh set of eyes, and go where the facts took us. And that's what he did. Piece of shit. Wesley Bell, piece of shit. Okay? Piece of shit, Wesley Bell. Oh God, I hate him. And, like, I'm sure he didn't look into, there was a guy that was protesting during the Black Lives Matter protests in Ferguson, and he just died in his car. And I forget the specifics around it, but I remember when I was like, because I was going to school, like, downtown. You guys probably don't know St. Louis, some of you might, but, like, down in the Landing, I was going to school down there. And so, like, I was, there were some, like, downtown and stuff that I saw, or because I was in class. But then I actually also interned at PBS Channel 9 during that time. That's where I learned audio engineering, by the way. Obviously, I forgot all of it. But, okay, sorry. I just think it's really funny. It's really funny. This is kind of different though. But anyway, not important. But I interned at our local PBS channel, and I actually, like, went down there and, like, interviewed people and stuff and made, like, a little documentary about it. I don't have it. I don't know where that went, but, you know, it was just, like, talking to the community and stuff, and, you know, it really opened my eyes. And I don't know. I just think this is so fucked up. I think this is so fucked up. He should have brought charges on him. He should have, but he didn't. And he's like, I don't want to create a circus. Like, okay, man. Okay. No, you just don't. I just don't think you care, and you don't want to go after the police, and just say it. Just be honest. Just be honest. But I don't think he's ever going to do that. So I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was an interesting little tidbit to go along with his recent shit. Okay, so this is the next thing. So I feel bad because I know these I know a lot of, like, local news need money, but this ad is very annoying. Okay, St. Louis County settles discrimination claims aimed at former PA prosecutor. Aimed at former PA Wesley Bell with $500K payout. Let's see. St. Louis County has agreed to a $500,000 payout, which is coming from tax dollars, to settle an employment discrimination claims made by a former employee aimed at former prosecuting attorney Wesley Bell. Former assistant prosecutor Susan Peterson sued the county in October 2020, alleging that she was discriminated against by Bell based on her gender, age, and race, and was also retaliated against when she complained. Documents obtained by First Alert Force show county attorneys approved a settlement Friday to pay out $500,000 to Peterson and her attorney. They reached out to Bell, an attorney, I don't know who that is, who represented in the lawsuit and is awaiting response. Let's see. Okay. Peterson worked for the county prosecutor's office over 20 years from December 1998 to October 2019. After Bell took office in January 2019, she claimed he hired or promoted double the number of male employees, 8 versus female employees, 4. Peterson claimed that in the lawsuit that Bell favored male employees and his executive staff were all men, one of whom addressed her as honey. Several other female attorneys in the prosecutor's office have been passed over for promotions by Bell for male attorneys. The lawsuit states the male attorneys at the level of attorney 3 and attorney, I don't know what that is, make more money than the female attorneys under Bell administration. Racial discrimination was also a factor in Peterson's employment ending. According to the lawsuit, which alleges Bell intervened in 2 cases and offered a lenient plea agreement based on the defendant's race. According to the lawsuit, Bell, who is black, is in one case offered a plea deal to a black suspect who fired at 4 police officers during a drug arrest. The plea agreement downgraded a proposed 20 sentence in which the suspect was okay. I don't know what any of that. I don't really know what any of that means. Okay. Peterson was prepared to proceed to trial. The sentencing judge and the defendant gave the confusion, reluctance regarding the plea agreement. Okay. Oh, okay, never mind. She's saying that he's being racist to her because she's white. Okay, well, I think that's... Okay, maybe I don't trust her then. I'm sorry. Sorry. I didn't know that. I don't think that's probably not true. Well, no, I mean, I believe, like, the female part and, like, him only being with males, but I don't know. I just don't. What the fuck, is she white? That's what I'm saying. I don't agree with her. I apologize. This is so funny because actually this random lady the other night when I was getting an adapter for the Ethernet cable she asked me because she was talking to the guy at the counter, or the guy working there. She asked me, she was like, they were talking about politics, and I wanted to ask a question about an Ethernet adapter, and she was like, she was talking about politics. She looked at me because I was in line, and I was just like kind of waiting, and she was like, what do you think about like the white only communities? You're white. And I was like, I think they're really bad. Like, I think they're horrible and racist, and I don't like them, and I think they're very bad, and I don't think they should be able to exist. And then she goes, well, you know, yeah, I guess it could just make more racism, like, on both sides. And I said, well, and I had to, like, stop her. I was like, well, I don't agree with you there. Like, I don't really think you can be racist against white people because historically in this country they have not been oppressed. And so I just don't think, like, I just don't think you can. And, and it was funny because it was so funny. It really wasn't funny, actually. Like, she was believable till she posted. Honestly, she was believable until she pulled the race card. I was like, damn, that's sexist. And then I was like, oh, wait, never mind. Never mind, I don't believe her. Never mind. Him not prosecuting Mike Brown's killer, though, that I do care about, but that lady, I don't believe her anymore, because when you're a white woman and you pull out the race card, you're probably lying. Like, you're lying. You're definitely lying. Yeah, sorry. Because I didn't read that far into it. I just read the part where, like, he was, I feel like Tim Pool, because Tim Pool didn't read that far into it. But at least I admit, like, hey, no, I'm not with that. And she was probably lying. But I read the part about, him, like, promoting men over women and stuff. But, yeah, no, I had a wild conversation at Walmart last night. I'm sorry I went to Walmart. I haven't gone to Target, like, at all, but I did go because they were the only thing open after the protest. And I really needed an adapter for my Ethernet cable, and so that's why I went there, and I was going to ask the guy, and then the lady in front of me was talking to him about politics, and then I got roped into the conversation. And it's really funny when you talk to, like, normies about politics because, God, I just am, like, I am reminded of how capitalism and capitalist propaganda has just seeped so entirely into our society. Like, it is just, like, you just talk to them and they're like, well, you know, some people, like, you know, even if they don't, like, have all the resources, it's 2025. They can figure it out. And I'm like, no, no, that's not how it works, like, at all, actually. Like, if you don't have the resources and you need to make 2 or 3 jobs to get by, how do you expect someone to just, she was like, oh, they can make an LLC, they can create a business. I'm like, not everyone can do that. And she's like, well, no, you can go on YouTube and you can figure it out. And I'm like, a lot of people don't have the time for that. They have kids, they have families, they have things they got to do. Like, I don't know. It's just like, I feel like it's just this something else that they were also saying is, and they were like libs, they weren't conservative, they were like libs. But something else she was also, sorry, I know I got on this tangent, so I apologize. Hopefully it's somewhat interesting. But they were like libs, and the lady was saying, she was like, she's like, well, yeah, things are going to get so much worse. And I was like, yeah, well, I agree with you there. Things are going to get worse. And she said, well, I guess it's just every man for himself, because everyone wanted to vote it for him. So I guess, everyone just needs to get their shit together, and if people need to leave, they need to leave. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm like, I feel like these ideals that you're like telling me are like literally what got us to this point. Like you believing in this individualistic ideology, and that like people can just figure it out, after like not making enough money to like live in this society. It's just, I'm like, wow, this is what got us to this point, this ideology. That is how this should happen. Exactly, that is how this should happen. That is how this should happen. And at some point, I literally just had to tell her, I was like, look, I think everyone deserves to live a comfortable life without having, like, if you don't want to work a 40-hour job, like, I don't think you should have to do that to have a comfortable life. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I don't think you should have to, like, kill yourself just to have a comfortable life. Like, I think everyone should be able to live a comfortable life, whether people deem whatever you're doing as lazy or whatever. Like, and I also had to explain, I was like, not everyone starts on the same foot. Like just because some people are able to get out of this situation does not mean that everyone else can. I'm like, people have differing support systems, they have differing like resources and everything. I'm like, so this is just not, like, it's just not realistic. What you're saying is just not realistic. And if we're gonna actually do something to make things better, then we need to understand that it's the systems that are in place that are working against us. And I kept saying that. I just kept saying, well, I would rather blame systems than blame individual people, because she just kept saying, well, they can figure it out. They can figure it out. Like, they can go to the library. And I said, well, they're defunding those as well. So like, and I also said, well, what determines like your class in this society, or where you end up in American society, is typically the zip code you're born in. And that's just the truth. And so it was just like, I was just trying to explain this to her, and it's so funny because she was a lib and she was talking about how much she hated Donald Trump, but like, I felt like saying to her, a lot of your views are actually really conservative. Like, a lot of what you think is actually, it has a very much right-wing skew to it. And it's so funny because I'm like, you don't see that, and it's weird to me, You got to have so much people watching you to be on YouTube. Not everyone can do that. It's mathematic. Well, exactly. But I think she was saying that, like, oh, if you want to create a business, or if you want to learn something or do something, just go on YouTube and learn how to do it. But it's not that easy. And also, as a neurodivergent person, when people say things like that, it actually does make me mad, because I was trying to explain to her, like, not everyone comes up on the right, like, starts out on the right foot. Even like when it comes to just like resources and money and family wealth and stuff like that, but also when it comes to like being neurodivergent, or if you have a disability or whatever, like, people are different, and that means people have different levels of what, how much they can work, what they can handle, stuff like that. And so to expect everyone to just figure it out because you have, or because someone else has, is just not realistic. And it's not realistic when the system is literally created to go against you. And I kept trying to explain that to her, and at one point she did like kind of believe me, because at one point she just whittled it down to like, so you think like all white people are bad, or you think like you're blaming white people for the fault of like certain communities not having enough resources or whatever. And I was like, well, I mean kind of, like, I'm not saying like all white people are to blame, but I'm just saying that, like, basically how I responded was, this is a white supremacist country, and our systems are steeped in white supremacism, and our country was founded on white supremacist values. And so you can say, oh, it's 2025, it's not like that anymore. But it is, and there are people, and it's funny that I was having this conversation with this lady at Walmart last night, because Literally, I was talking about Abby Phillips and Julian Michaels earlier this week, or last week, and like there are still people over here excusing slavery, whitewashing slavery. They're trying to get rid of slavery in the Smithsonian. They're trying to get rid of slavery in museums. Like this ideology is not just like gone. Everyone wants to act like this is just so far away. It's not. And so I was just trying to explain to her. I'm like, no, this is like our whole entire system is based on white supremacy. And so you can say it's 2025 now, but that doesn't matter, especially when you have communities that are specifically underfunded on purpose, and what happens is those communities have been oppressed for a very long time. They've been defunded for a very long time. But also before that, when you have people who were enslaved and not making any money, and then you have those same people with the Jim Crow laws not being able to, like, making it harder to buy a house, making it harder to have wealth, because even when they did it was Black Wall Street, they bombed them and they killed a lot of people, and they put to fire a lot of their businesses. So even when they were trying to gain that wealth, trying to be on the same par, white people would not let it happen. And so a lot of white people have generated family wealth, or just wealth throughout time, or at least their parents own a house that they'll get, when they're older or whatever. But not everybody has that, because there were laws in this country specifically against Black people having that, and no one wants to call that out. So when you just say, oh, it's 2025, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything, because there is nothing that has been done to rectify that situation. Reparations have not happened. They should. Nothing has happened to rectify this situation. So when we say, oh, it's whatever, like, it doesn't matter. And then she was like, well, because she was mixed, and she was like, well, I'm mixed. I can get a job at Walmart if I want. And I said, yeah, but that job at Walmart is not going to pay you enough to live. You're going to have to get other jobs. So how are you supposed to start a business? How are you supposed to save money? How are you supposed to do all these things when all you're doing is working 2 or 3 jobs just to make it by? Like, that doesn't make sense. And I think the other thing that she said was something about the Constitution, or like, oh, well, we all are equal because of the Constitution. I'm like, well, no, we're not. I'm like, the Constitution is not for the people. I'm like, I know we like to say it is, but that's not why it was created. The Constitution was created by rich white men in power. That's who it was created by, and it was created to serve them. It was created to protect them from the proletariat. That is what it was for. Okay, it was not for anybody else. When they first wrote it, it excluded a shit ton of people. So that's not what it was for. And I had to I explained it, and at that point she did kind of agree with me. She's like, oh, I agree with you there. Like, I guess you are right. Like, it's not really for us. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Like, exactly. But then you still go back to it's 2025 now, and I'm like, I don't care what year it is. That doesn't mean anything. Like, you see how we're regressing. What do you mean it's 2025? What do you mean? Like, that doesn't mean anything to me. Okay. It was not that MAGA voted for Donnie. It was too many did not bother voting or would not vote for a Black woman. That is a really sad thing. Yeah, that is really sad. I also think the Democrats can also be better. I just think they can also be better, and I think that they could speak to a lot of these issues better and stand their ground on a lot of these issues better, because they don't, and they tend to run and hide when it comes to issues like this, and Palestine. And so I just wish that, I wish that they would be better, and if they were, then people might have voted for them. It's 2025, but 2025 is expensive. Exactly. For the structure feeds itself, and racism is created by, exactly, white men, but they had to be landlords. Exactly. And it's funny. In college, I did have a government class, and I think this is why my mom thinks college brainwashed me, but it was my favorite class. We learned about all the different amendments and the Constitution and the different cases, like Obergefell, like Roe v. Wade, and he would let us debate them. Oh my God, that was actually my favorite part of classes, when he let us debate them. I really enjoyed that a lot, actually. I should have known that like this is something I would enjoy sooner on, but I did not. But anyway, like I was in this class and okay, sorry, I thought it was peaking, so I felt bad. But anyway, I was in this class and I had a really great teacher, and he was so amazing. But something that he said was like, and I forget which, I don't know if it was the I forgot what amendment it was, or I forgot what clause it was, but there's some clause in there that people used to think that like, oh, we're free, we have this or whatever. I wish I could remember, but it wasn't that. Like he was kind of explaining to us that they wrote this back then to protect the rich white landowners. That's who they wrote the Constitution for. It was not for the citizens, and they actually had a lot of things in there to protect them from the citizens, to protect them from the proletariat, because they were worried that they were going to start coming after them, like to act like there were no activists or there were no people who were like against slavery or for the abolition of slavery back then is silly. And a lot of people will act like that. A lot of people, it was just normal for the time. No, it wasn't. There were activists back then. There were abolitionists back then. That's not true. And so they were worried about uprisings. And so like this Constitution was not made for us. Okay, it turned into being quasi, for the citizens, but that's not what that was not its intended goal. And so I think that's really important to like remember when we talk about the Constitution or when we talk about the systems in this country, because I feel like, and I actually did tell her this, I was like, we've been fed a lie our whole lives that this is like the freest nation, but it never has been, and it's never been free for everyone. And so it's a lie, and we've been fed this lie our whole lives, so everyone believes it. And when you actually look at the history, it's just not true. It's just not true. And now they're trying to and it's so funny because she was telling me, she's like, well, they're trying to get rid of that history so they can do it again. And I'm like, well, I agree with you on that. Like, I agree with you on that, but I also think the economic part of this, I think what a lot of people don't understand is like the economic part of this has a lot to do with the societal part as well. And they're interconnected. And so to just be like, oh, well, people can just figure it out. No, they can't. Like, that's silly. People need good wages. They need good jobs. They need like good resources. And to just say, oh, well, you can figure it out when literally everything is coming against you and you have to pay for every little thing, and every little thing is becoming more and more expensive and you're not making any more money, then no, you can't just figure it out. That's not how this works. And some people can just figure it out, but it's because either they get really lucky, or they have people in their lives that have those resources, that have that wealth, or that have that proximity to power. And so, yeah, to help them like level up or whatever. LOL, the Constitution is not that special. Everyone has one. I have no idea what is in Australia. It's literally here. It's like, I swear, I will say something I do hate. Like, I'm being I'm being a bit of a hypocrite because I do love Hamilton. I will say I love Hamilton. That's like the most lib thing about me. I can like recite to you every word in Hamilton. I really can. But I don't believe it. Like I know that they are whitewashing history, and I am very aware that Hamilton was not. I don't think Hamilton was the good guy in all this at all. I'm actually a Burr truther. I think Burr was probably a better person, and they really just because from what I've researched, not that I've done much, but he was actually a little bit more progressive, and that's why everyone like hated him really. So I'm just saying, truth for Burr. But anyway, I'm just kidding. He was probably just as bad. I don't know. But I mean, they kind of all were back then. But we look at the founding fathers in the Constitution like they're gods almost. Like in America, we really do. And it's really bizarre. Like it's so bizarre. Like we just have it in our minds growing up that like we're just so free. We're number one, and it's because of the Constitution, and it's because of the founders, and it's just like ingrained in us. And it's so weird when you grow up because these men were horrible people. They were monsters. George Washington was a monster. Thomas Jefferson was a monster. And in Hamilton, they make him seem like this like quirky, like whatever. I'm like, This man was one of the worst people. Okay. Oh, Dems can be better. Most understated thing on this channel, honestly. I just don't know what else to say because I just have no faith in them anymore. Like I just expect them to be bad at this point. I just expect them to be bad. Like even AOC and Bernie, I'm starting to be like, okay, where are you guys at? Where are you at? Shit is hitting the fan. Where are you? Anyway, LOL, I would have voted for Iraq to stop Donnie winning. No, I agree. No, I agree. I voted for, Kamala. I did. And, you know, I donated to her campaign. I don't know if I should have done that. They got a lot of money, but I did. And so, like, I understand. I get it. But I also understand why people were disillusioned with her and with Biden. And I actually think a lot of it's Biden's fault because he's an egotistical piece of shit who didn't want to get out of the race even though he was literally like a raisin. But okay. Landlord checks, is that Latin for mine, not your swine? Iraq or Biden? No, listen. I would have voted for anyone over Trump. I really would have. I agree. Like I would have, but I all I'm saying is that I understand why people are disillusioned with them, and I get it. Because like they suck, man. They just suck. He is trying to tear the world order apart with everyone pandering to a fool because he's so vindictive with so much power. Yeah, I agree. I think it's embarrassing, all the different people that are just like pandering to him and bending the knee to him. It's honestly incredible, like, and not in a good way, in a very bad way. And it's terrifying because he just wants, he wants to be this little king, and I don't know, but something I have always said, and I will continue to say, is that, you know, Trump, I don't think, like, Trump is, like, people love him, and he has a cult around him, and it is a cult, and that is true. Do I think that they still would have found something, and they still would have done this with the plans that they've had? Yes, I just don't think it would have happened as fast. My worry now is that, like I said in the beginning, like, you know, everyone's like, oh, if he runs again for a third term, then Obama can come back. I think that's silly. I think that's a ridiculous notion. And it's just not serious to me. So it honestly makes me mad. But, but this is what a lot of people are saying. And I just don't understand it. But my thing is like, okay, if he is already running for a third term, which he's already like, he was talking to Zelensky the other day, and he was like, oh, if we have a war, we can stop elections. So, I mean, this man's going to do whatever he wants. He doesn't care. But I also think, like, once we're at that point where he can run again and it's, like, full authoritarian, like, I feel like we're already at full authoritarian, but, like, people will actually, I guess, maybe hopefully admit it then. If we're already at that point, I don't think that the Republicans, even if something happens to Trump, I don't think the Republicans are just going to, like, go away. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if Trump is not there, after, again, if we get to that point and something happens, I don't think the Republicans are just going to, like, relinquish power. And they'll have all of the systems in place to crack down on anyone who dissents. So, like, I just, like, I'm not saying like nothing can happen and that like nothing can change, but I just don't think, I think once this shit is solidified and he's like the ruler or whatever, if that happens, if it gets to that point, which I would argue we're kind of already there almost, but you know, I'm just saying, if it gets worse, which it probably will, I don't think if something happens to him that they're just going to relinquish that power. And that's just my personal opinion. Yeah, I don't know. It's the project that is dangerous. Donnie was just a vehicle to get to this point. Yes. Are Washington governors fighting back today? Oh, cool. I'll have to look into that. I actually don't know much about the Washington governor. I'll have to look into that. That's good. No, I think people are fighting back. And, you know, Gavin Newsom's fighting back, which I guess is okay. I don't like him either, and I don't want him to be president. But you know, I mean, at least he's doing something, I guess. I mean, and it is funny, it is entertaining, and it's making Fox News mad, which is quite hilarious. Which is quite a hilarious sight. But yeah, I'll have to look into the Washington governor. I'll look into that, and then maybe we'll talk about it on Friday. Yeah, you're right. I think it's the project that's the problem, because what has gotten us to this point is Republicans' continuous push to the right, and Democrats continuing to give in to that and continuing to go further to the right to placate to some invisible middle voter, you know? And so I think that they've always been planning for this. I think Donald Trump just happened to be their vessel, like the perfect vessel for them. But I do think that they're still going to try, and they're still going to do it. They're still going to try to live out this plan, even if something did happen to him. Cause you know, he's old. And so even if something did happen to him, I still think that I just don't think that they're just going to relinquish power that easily. And even by that point, things are going to be so different. It's going to be hard to like reel it back in, you know? So I just think that like there's a lot of bipartisan shit's gotta go. Yeah, exactly. I agree. I agree. I don't think, like, I'm done with I've been done with bipartisanship for a very long time. But bipartisan shit is so stupid. Like, it has to go. It has to go. It just has to go. The only time that I will be okay with bipartisanship is like on Israel and Palestine, because I know Marjorie Taylor Greene did that bill to stop giving offensive weapons to Israel, and even though it's not offensive, but I'm just saying, like, they're trying to parse between the two, even though they're the same thing, but like parse between offensive and defensive weapons, even though they're the same thing. But AOC voted for the she voted for the whatever one, anyway, the defensive weapons. And so yeah, I was really disappointed in that. But anyway, she should have voted for that bill with Marjorie Taylor Greene, but she didn't. But it's just because they're trying to parse between offensive and defensive weapons and all this bullshit, even though they're the same thing. And so like in that case, I think AOC should have voted with Marjorie Taylor Greene 1000%. I don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene has good intentions. I think she's anti-Semitic, and I don't think she's a good person. But I do think that she should have voted on that bill. But other than that, I do think the bipartisan shit has got to go. Like, literally trying to pander to some middle of the road voter is just not. That's not what this is. This is not cutting it. Like, the Democrats are actually losing their entire base while trying to do this, and it's really, honestly, stupid. Truthfully. And it's stupid because we're dealing with a literal, like, authoritarian. And I'm going to talk about, so the Good Liars, they actually went to Washington, D.C., and they made this video, and I've been wanting to watch this, but I wanted to wait to do it on stream because I think it's just going to be so funny. So we're going to talk about that right now. Oh, okay, sorry. It'll stop. There we go. It just like plays, and I tried to do a hotkey and it just didn't work. But anyway.
We are here in Washington, D.C., where just over 4.5 years ago, on January 6th, Donald Trump said he definitely did not have the authority to call in the National Guard. Now, I guess things have changed because
Okay. So this is the Good Liars, and they are in Washington, D.C. after Trump sent the National Guard to Washington, D.C. because Big Balls, the guy in Doge, got like carjacked. I don't know. It's a weird story, honestly. He these guys are good. I love the Good Liars. They're awesome. That's why I was so excited when I saw this video, and I was like, oh, I want to do it on stream. Because I love them so much, and they crack me up. But yes, and so they're there, they're talking to them, and some of the shit that's been coming out of DC is horrific. It's horrific. And this is authoritarian. Okay, this is an authoritarian playbook. This is what fascists and authoritarians do. This is what this is. So anyone who's trying to act like it's just crime, no. This is militarizing cities. This is militarizing it is using our military against our own citizens, and that is what fascists do. So Anyone who tries to tell you that it's not that is wrong. And yes, so we're gonna watch this. I'm actually really excited. But yeah, Big Balls got like carjacked or something by some teenagers. And so now we're sending the National Guard in because that makes sense. It's so dumb. So dumb. Okay.
Just so much National Guard here. So I'm wondering if you might have been lying about that. Oh well.
Oh well.
Federal policing
My mom still says that to me. Like, my mom still says to me, well, if Nancy Pelosi would have called the National Guard, and I'm like, he is the commander-in-chief of the military. He is the one that would have to call the National Guard. And she's like, oh, well, they would have given her permission. I was like, no, what are you saying? He's the commander-in-chief. He's the one who should have done it. Like, there's no, like, I don't like Nancy Pelosi, but, like, that's a ridiculous statement. It's a ridiculous statement. Is this not waste, fraud, or abuse? Little balls would not like Nancy Pelosi was running. Right. I mean, it's just so stupid. I get frustrated because I remember when January 6th did happen, and I was watching these videos with my own eyeballs, and my parents are over here like, I'm like, they broke into the Capitol. I'm like, they had a noose for Mike Pence, and my parents are like, no, that didn't happen. I'm like, it's literally on video. It's literally on video. Like, I felt so crazy during that moment in time. It was only Antifa. Honestly, I was like, they were literally chanting to kill Mike Pence, and you're over here like, no, that didn't happen. What? Yes, there is literal video evidence of this happening. I just kept remembering them telling me all these things that, like, was on video didn't happen. And I was just like, that's when I, like, knew that this was a cult. Not that I didn't know before, but that's, like, when I knew. I knew. Because I was like, oh, so you guys are just denying, like, actual, just, like, things you can see with your own eyes now. You're just denying it. Like, you're just denying it. Like, it's kind of insane. This is kind of crazy.
Efforts in the district are growing. Hundreds of National Guard troops from West Virginia, Ohio, and South Carolina will be deployed here to D.C.
It is hot as hell here in Washington, D.C. I have sweat dripping down my body, gathering around one of my nipples, I think.
This is 1988.
1988?
Ride my bike since I was a kid, literally. Nothing happens around here. How are you going to have these soldiers? They're tourists around here. Who's around? Who are they protecting?
On January 6th, Donald Trump said he couldn't call the National Guard in. Now they're here. Why do you think that is?
Well, if the sentence begins with Trump said, you lost me.
Okay, I like that guy. It begins with Trump said, you lost me. I agree. Anything Trump says is just a lie. Like, so actually, a person who I talked about politics with recently that was like a very good experience was my hairdresser. And I don't know why I'm saying hairdresser, hairstylist? I don't know. I go to her for my hair. Anyway, she's amazing. And she was like, she's like, I can't listen to him. Every time I listen to him, I just want to like rip my hair out. And I'm like, honestly, I feel the same, but I do listen to him. And it's like every other word is just like, oh, it's just a lie. And it doesn't make any sense. And it's all just nonsense. And he's not even like forming complete sentences anymore. He's not making any sense. And she's like, I know. She's like, I don't know how you listen to it. She's like, I couldn't do it. I get very upset and I like lose my mind and I feel like I'm literally going psychotic anytime I hear Trump talk because everything he says is a lie and it's not true and it's not reality. And then he just goes off on little tangents that make absolutely no sense. And most 9 times out of 10 has nothing to do with the question or the topic that they're talking about. And again, I'll talk to people in my life about other people in my life and they'll be like, I'm like, this is the thing. They don't listen to his speeches and they don't listen to his press conferences. Because I'll ask my family, I'll be like, do you listen? Do you listen to his speeches? Did you watch his press conference today? And they'll be like, no. And I'll be like, okay, well, I did. I watched the whole thing. And you know what? None of it made any goddamn sense. And they don't believe me. They don't believe me. I don't know what to do. Oh God, yeah, I should not go to DC for a while. Yeah, unfortunately, I think this is gonna go much farther than DC, but yeah, I wouldn't go to DC. I'm nervous about going out of the country, honestly. I'm like so nervous. I don't think that I'm not probably gonna do that unless I like move. That is wild. Isn't it wild? It's so wild. Like sometimes I just don't know what to say. 'Cause I'm just so dumbfounded.
You think he's the reason the National Guard are in D.C. right now?
100%. It's all a scam. It's a made-up crisis. There's no crime here. The crime is you might pair a Chardonnay with a red piece of meat. That's the crime. They're in Georgetown. I mean,
This guy's funny. This guy's kind of funny. It's just so silly. Okay.
give you a break.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a little sick thinking about that.
Hey.
Oh my God. At this point, moving out of the USA is not insane. Honestly, I know. I've thought about it. I have thought about it. I just don't have the money to do that. But I have thought about it. I do have a passport, so I guess if shit gets really bad, I do have a passport. But I'm just nervous, like, my mom, my family went on a cruise and they wanted me to go with them, and I did not go. Just because it was a lot of money, and I didn't really have the money to do that. But anyway, also because I didn't want to go out of the country because I was nervous about coming back. And like, I am a very small channel. I am so small. I am just a small little bean on this big internet, okay? But there are a lot of people who have been like questioned, like TikTokers and like all these things that are not like huge, channels or huge people or whatever, and they've been stopped at the border and like they've been detained when coming back from like a trip, and I just like and so like maybe my mom thinks I'm crazy, and I'm like, but I openly talk about things, I've gone to protests, like I talk about shit, and I'm very against this, and like I'm not comfortable with that, and she thinks I'm crazy, but I'm like paranoid, but I don't think I am. I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't think I am, but that's just, and if they like, and going through people's phones, like, they would, I mean, like, I have shit tons of memes in my phone, about them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, anyway.
DC crime is not that bad. When I used to live back in the day, it was so bad. I always tell everyone, we took 20 steps forward. During COVID, we took a few steps back. We took 5 steps back, but at the end of the day, we're still 15 steps ahead.
We are here in Washington, D.C.
I would agree with that, and statistically that's true, that like crime has been going down everywhere, and this whole like narrative of crime is going up is just not true. I think, unfortunately, I think that the more prices go up, and the more they're not going to do shit about it, and the more that they militarize our cities, then crime, yes, will go up, and it will be really bad, and it will start getting really bad because of those conditions. But right now, it is lower, and that's not saying that there's not crime, that there is. But unfortunately, again, like the programs and the different things that like are needed to happen, like resources and like after school programs and stuff like that, are all getting defunded, and they're not going to do anything about guns. Like the Trump administration is not going to do anything about guns. So unfortunately, I just think things are just going to get worse, and there probably will be more crime because of people not making enough money to get by. And I feel like the more prices increase and the worse this gets, because it's going to hit at some point, then yeah, crime will go up, and they're going to use that as an excuse to go after every other place too. So yeah.
You guys look like locals. Are you all locals? Everyone looks like locals here. All right. Not a local? Well, you guys aren't locals? Not locals? No? Okay. I thought maybe that was like a DC thing. Everyone wears the yellow helmet. gets on a bike and drives around together. I didn't know if it was maybe a bicycle gang. Maybe that's why the National Guard are here. What do you think about?
The problem is these people think being poor is a crime, getting shit coins is not. Yeah, no, you're right. Exactly. That is true. That is very true. Again, and I was talking to my hairstylist about this the other day, and she was saying that, like, because I didn't know this, but apparently they've closed a lot of, like, shelters in St. Louis. And so that's the other thing is, again, that's what I'm saying, like, they're getting rid of all of these resources. They're getting rid of all of these resources. And so now there are going to be more people, and that actually scares me that they're getting rid of a lot of the shelters, because then that means a lot of unhoused people are going to have nowhere to go, which means I think they're going to use that as an excuse to kind of do what they're doing here and just, like, kidnap unhoused people. And they asked who was it? Who did they ask? Was it Pete Hegseth? Who they asked someone, where are you going to take these homeless people? What are you going to do? And they were like, well, I don't have an answer for that. What do you mean? What do you mean? So you're just going to kidnap them? What do you mean you don't know what you're going to, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? And people get mad when you want to say this is Nazi shit, but that's Nazi shit, man. It is. Where are you taking them? What are you doing? And unfortunately, I do think getting rid of resources and getting rid of shelters and stuff like that is so people are like, oh, wow, there's so many unhoused people. Oh, my God, there's lots of crime. Here's an excuse for us to go in and militarize and kidnap people. And there it is, you know? I mean, yeah. The problem is these people, labor camps incoming. No, I really do think that's what's happening. I really do think that's what's happening. Because, I mean, slavery is technically already legal in our Constitution in prisons. So 100%, I definitely think that's happening. That's out of my jurisdiction. You're right. That is what he said. Which is psychotic. That's psychotic. Like, what do you mean? Like, that is just so crazy. Like, what do you mean you don't know? So you're just kidnapping people. You're just kidnapping people, essentially. But that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing.
The National Guard, the ICE checkpoints, the police.
Oh, yeah, they're having checkpoints, too. They're literally doing checkpoints in the middle of the streets.
Across the city, right?
Unnecessary.
Why do you think it's unnecessary?
When's the last time you heard about a crime here at Lincoln Memorial?
And as those heavily armed troops patrol a variety of
Abrego Garcia. No, exactly. They've been kidnapping people and they just don't care. They don't care. And it's really sad that there's a lot of other people in this country who don't care what happens to the rest of the citizens in this country. There's just like a chunk of people who just don't care about the cruelty, and it just boggles my mind every time.
See, the White House saying the move is not meant to scare away tourists.
These people is dead as shit to me today. It's a Sunday. I mean, I know it's hot, it's super hot, but usually around here, there's so many people. People are not going to come here anymore.
No.
There's ICE checkpoints and there's military walking. People are just like freaked out. Like, you know what? Forget it. They're not going to come here.
Yeah, exactly. And tourism, I think, in general, has been going down in the U.S. I know a lot of people are saying that, like, Vegas is the blueprint and that it's like their tourism has gone down a significant amount. I just think that's going to happen everywhere in this country. It just is. People from overseas do not want to come here. Okay. Partly because they hate America and a lot of them are boycotting America, but also partly because they're scared. Okay. So yeah, no, no, there's a ton of people who don't want to come here that are not going to come here. And I don't blame them. I don't think they shouldn't come here. They shouldn't. I don't think they should, because if they do, who knows what's going to happen? They might get detained at the border. You don't know. How do you know what's going to happen in this country? You don't. Yeah, you might get kidnapped. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen to you if you come to this country? So I don't blame people for not feeling safe coming here. I don't blame them. Yeah, I don't blame them.
I hope tourists still come here.
Okay. Do you think that all the militarization could scare away tourists a little bit?
Take a look around you.
Yeah. Oh, there's like no one on that bus. Did you see? There's no one on that bus.
Depend on tourism here.
I feel bad for those people in all this military gear. What are they doing here?
I don't know. It looks like they're standing around talking. I saw some of them laughing a little bit. One of them was sitting in the car to get some air conditioning because it's hot. And then
I mean, that does suck. Like, I would be so mad if I was just standing there all day in the hot sun and be like, what am I doing here?
another guy went into one of the cars, and I think one of them went to Dunkin' Donuts.
You know, they worry about how much all the money that the government's spending. This is a complete waste of money. You know what I mean? And it only serves, Donald Trump.
It does.
How much money do you think they're wasting right now?
I have no idea.
We are seeing a heightened presence of immigration officials in the district. Our cameras captured the moment.
I think that's what this is really about. I think that's a lot, because they did the same thing in LA. They had the National Guard there, and then once there was not really anything that they could, once there was no protest and it wasn't really that big of a deal anymore, what they did was they started literally just protecting ICE. Which insane.
Federal authorities arrested a delivery driver this morning.
They are harassing people. Crime is at a 30-year low in Washington, D.C. right now. It's racism with the immigration. That's all it is. Everybody knows that. Trump is a very insecure man, and he's overcompensating. This is nothing about security or safety.
Damn right. This guy's funny. I like this guy. He's funny. Damn, thank God I got my passport, and also my job will go with me because it's worldwide. Yeah, that's lucky. That is really lucky. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, I think everyone, if you don't have a passport, they are kind of expensive, but you should get one because who knows what's going to happen. A lot of people, I forgot who. I was listening to Daniel Moody. I love listening to Daniel Moody and Wajad Ali. I think that's his last name. But I love listening to them. America Unhinged, they're amazing. But I love listening to them. And something that Danielle was saying is that she was just in Europe. I don't know if she was in Europe, but she was overseas. And she was talking about how clearly you can see things from outside of America and how clearly everybody else sees what's going on in America. And when you live here, we're just in it every day, that it's hard to really grasp how other people see what's going on or how clear it is to everyone else. And so I just found that I just found that really interesting. And she was also talking about how there were certain points in different times where there were people who did leave and wanted to get out of those countries that were having those conflicts. They wanted to leave before anything got super, super bad. And she's like, I fear that we've come to the point where if you're going to leave, it should be semi-soon, if we're going to leave, that window is closing, which is kind of scary to think about, really, honestly. But I do think she's right. And yeah, she was talking about James Baldwin and how he went to France a lot, and how he went to France a lot, when he was an activist, just to be safe, and how he felt safer there. But anyway, that's my little tangent there.
What would you say to someone who's thinking of signing up to be an ICE agent?
It's like SS, what is those in the 30s, Hitler guys? They're doing it for a job too. Next thing you know, they're doing some other crazy stuff.
I will say though, something like the people that I talked to at Walmart and my, sorry, I ate dinner before this, and my hairstylist, they all called ICE the Gestapo. So at least people understand that, at least people get that. At least everyone is on the same, I think most people are on the same page with that, which is a good thing.
It starts
that at least people can recognize, at least a lot of people, whether how capitalist or whatever, or, whatever beliefs they have, at least they can understand or see that this is Nazi shit.
With pulling people over and asking for their ID, and God knows where it's going to end.
You feel there's some authoritarianism going on right now?
Absolutely.
Every American should be against this. Every American should be against this. This is a disgrace.
To the ICE agents at the checkpoints who are here in D.C., what would you want them to know?
I want them to know that we understand that you're doing your job, but
I don't understand. I don't.
At some point, you're going to have to look at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
On January 6, 2021, people broke through those barricades and went into the Capitol, which feels a lot more dangerous than it does here today.
Oh my God, that's insane.
But for some reason today there's a bunch of National Guard. So go figure me that. However you say that.
Soon they will not allow pregnant women to leave the U.S. Some states are already trying that, aren't they? Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure it's in Texas. I don't know if they passed, I think they might have passed the bill in Texas, but yeah, there are some states that, like, you can't travel. Like, basically what they're trying to stop you to do is they're trying to stop you from getting an abortion in a different state. And so they, like, if you do go out of state and then come back, it's, like, illegal, which... I don't know if they passed that, but I know Texas was one of the states who was trying to. I think they might have, but that's actually, it's so dangerous for women in, like, abusive relationships. And there have been many times, I think I've heard of something recently, not recently, but maybe like a few months ago, where, there were pregnant women who do try to leave, and then they kill, their spouses, like, kill them because they don't want them to leave and because they don't want them to get an abortion, which is crazy because it's like, okay, so then you're just gonna, so then you just kill the baby and the mother by killing them. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Well, it's not a baby at that point, but anyway, you're still killing both of the things that you, like, it doesn't make logical sense. But anyway, it is very dangerous for women who are in abusive relationships. Also, just putting this out there, there's a nonprofit called Elevated Access, and they're actually really cool, and I've probably talked about them before, but they actually helped a woman in that situation. I was at their seminar recently, and they were talking about how what they do is private pilots will use their planes and will take people who need to get, like, gender affirming care or abortion or just like any kind of care like that's being like outlawed or scrutinized in different states. They will take you to a different state for free, and they'll take you there. They'll make sure you get your appointment and take you back and everything. And apparently there was one lady who wanted to get an abortion because her partner was abusive, and the pilot, I guess, whoever got there and tried to, like, get her, try to, like, take her to the plane, and she had to tell them to leave because I guess her partner had come home early and she was scared. But, like, a couple months, like, not a couple months, I think like a week or so later, they were able to actually go, and she went and she got the abortion, and then she was able to move out and leave him, and she's living a much better life. And so Elevated Access is really amazing. And so if anyone wants to, like, look into it and donate or whatever, you should do that because they're a really cool nonprofit that I really love. Is there anything they want that is not cruel to someone? No. Literally, like, almost their whole platform is just, like, cruelty. Like, cruelty is the point. And a lot of it is because I think a lot of conservatives or a lot of Republicans, and again, this is just from my personal, like, family and stuff. I think a lot of them, like, when you're a white person and when you're told this lie your whole life that, you can do whatever you want and you'll be uber successful and everything's going to be great and blah, 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 blah. When you get fed that lie your whole life in America, especially if you're, like, a white person, because like, you're in a white supremacist society under a white supremacist system, and so you do have a lot of privileges, but it's getting to the point where, like, we are so hyper capitalist that a lot of people are just, like, they don't perceive their I just said the word, I don't know why I can't think of it again, but they don't perceive that as like a way, God, now I can't think of the word. But anyway, I think a lot of them feel slighted when they get into when they wake up and they become adults and they realize, oh wait, like, I actually have to work, like, really hard, and I actually have to have, like, all these jobs, and, like, it's still really hard for me to make ends meet, and, like, wow. And so I think a lot of them feel slighted because they feel like, privilege. I don't know why I forgot the word. Anyway, they feel like everyone is, like, telling them they're privileged, but they don't feel privileged and they don't see their privilege, even though to me it's, like, obvious. I'm like, okay, well, I could name you a million things that happened within your life that that are privileged. But a lot of them don't perceive it as being privileged and don't understand the historical context. And so they feel slighted, I think. And so I think a lot of their policies are more about, are about the cruelty, and they're more like, I had to go through hell, or I had to deal with this, even though a lot of what people think they had to go through. I mean, again, everyone has different lives, but there are people who have it worse off than other people, and they still think that oh, well, if I had to deal with it, then they have to deal with it. It's really just a policy of resentment. It's just, they just resent everything. And instead of looking at the systems and seeing that they don't work for all of us, and seeing that the systems are against all of us, and it's the capital class and it's capitalism that is the problem, they instead resent everyone, and resent everything, and they just want to be cruel to everyone because they feel like they got slighted and they didn't get the privilege that they were promised or whatever. I don't know. That's just what I think, and I think a lot of them are also very emotionally stunted as well, and are just yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I feel bad because sometimes when I talk about this, I can be pretty mean, or I don't know. I don't know. But then I'm also I don't know. It's just kind of how I feel, and I think it's really what it is. It's just the policy of cruelty, really, and cruelty is the point, because that's the point. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what the latest is, but they're filing charges against this poor guy, and he got lost his job because you threw a sandwich. He's hiring people that would.
That was so funny. That was so funny.
January 6th to run the government now. You tell, and he pardoned all of them. Cop, these guys that beat up that guy, that one guy, one of these guys. I don't even know what his name is, but he was literally telling. The chanting to the crowd to beat up that one police officer, and now you got a job somewhere in the government.
On January 6th.
Yeah, and a lot of the people that have been pardoned have gone back to jail. Talk about letting criminals out. What are you almost every a lot of them have gone back to jail and have reoffended. So I don't know, man. A Department of Justice guy. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, no. The whole, that's why, oh my God, okay, this is another thing the lady at Walmart said. She said that she basically, she thinks that, Trump is, the one telling everyone to do everything, and everyone just needs to, bow down to him. And I was like, well, I mean, yes and no. I do think that, Trump doesn't like people who talk bad about him and all this kind of stuff. But, I don't think he's the one actually making or thinking about the policies. I think people like Stephen Miller and, people from the Heritage Foundation and stuff like that, they're the ones who are, he's doing tariffs because he's just a dumbass, and this is something he's always talked about, tariffs. But everything else, I really do think is more like Stephen Miller, more like the Heritage Foundation, more like Peter Thiel, people behind him. I don't think it's necessarily him. One, because I just don't think he's that smart of a guy. And yeah, Trump is barely aware of anything. Yeah, and so I think a lot of people think that Trump is just this anomaly, and he's just some I don't know. They think he's actually a king, and he's really is commanding everyone. And I don't think that. I think he actually is not doing a lot of the work, and most of it is Stephen Miller and the Heritage Foundation. And that's what I think. And I think he gets to be in the spotlight, and if people talk bad about him, then yeah, he's going to get mad and do his whole Trump thing. But I think for the most part, they've hired all these people specifically because they will do whatever Trump says. If Trump says it, they'll do it. And if Peter Thiel or Stephen Miller or the Heritage Foundation tells Trump to do something, he's going to do it. And so they are there because they're going to listen to Trump. But I don't think Trump is necessarily the one making all of the decisions. But it's funny because I guess a lot of libs really do see him as this all powerful person who just wants everyone to bend to him, which he does. But I don't think he's the one really making the decision. It was funny. She's like, oh, you think there's a Illuminati around him? And I was like, no, I'm not saying that. But there are a lot of people around him that this is actually something this has been their ideology for a very long time. This is what they've planned on and wanted for a very long time. He just he just happens to be the one that's willing to carry it out. And he just happens to be the one that has like this cult following around him. But these people were always trying to do this. Like the Heritage Foundation has been trying to do this for decades. And they have been doing it successfully. And so a lot of people just don't see that or don't realize it. And so I don't necessarily think he's like, I don't think he's like, I honestly think his cognition is going way downhill, and I don't really think he's aware of all that much, you know. And I think, I mean, yeah, I don't know, that's my personal opinion. Donnie is just making a TV show and the ghouls behind the scenes are doing the evil things. Yeah, I agree. I think he's the face to a lot of it. I think there are certain things that, you know, I think tariffs are his thing, which is why it's like the one thing that I don't think anyone else wanted. But he's like so adamant because this is something he's talked about since like the 80s and 90s. And so I do think the tariffs are his thing because it's just so dumb that of course it is. But everything else, I think he's not super in control of, like, at all. And that's why he hired these people, because he hired them to do the cool shit and just do it without telling him, oh, we can't do that. There's systems. He's like, no, he just wants people who are just going to do it anyway. And he doesn't have to do it. And they thought he was like micromanaging everyone. I'm like, I don't think he can manage himself. Like, I don't think he's micromanaging anyone. He can't manage himself. Like, I don't know. He agrees with them, but has no idea how to do anything. I agree. No, yeah, I agree.
Someone threw a fire extinguisher at a police officer. Which one's worse?
Fire extinguisher.
Worse than a Subway sandwich?
Yes.
Maxine, what do you think about the military being unleashed across Washington, D.C.?
Oh, you're so cute, little
Do you think
puppy.
Donald Trump is the reason that they are here right now?
Oh, obviously.
Why do you think he said on January 6th, 2021, that he wasn't allowed to call them in, that was Nancy Pelosi's job?
Got me there. It's a good question.
Oh, man.
Okay. Well, do you have any ideas as to why?
It would have been useful they were called out on January 6th, obviously.
But do you know why he would say one thing and then say another later?
Yeah, that's the way he does things.
Look,
I love like the dry humor of it all because they're just like so serious and just like the people he's talking to are just like so serious and he's also kind of serious, but it's also just in such a like a funny way that he asks these questions.
lies or whatever.
Call what you want to call it.
Yeah. What would you call it?
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Anything you want to say in parting? I mean, I know we've had a good time here, you and I.
Nothing, just enjoy the city.
Yeah.
I hope tourists still come here.
Okay, that was the Good Liars. I love that. They're so funny. Oh my god, I love them so much. Yeah, that was the Good Liars. I love them. They're so funny and they are just hilarious all of the time. Okay, so let's see. So I think that's gonna be it for today. I am gonna be back on Friday at 8:30. Sorry I was a tad bit late today. But I'll be back on Friday, and I am going to try to fix my microphone before then. Sorry about that, but thank you for everyone for being here. It was really, really fun, and at least my internet worked this time. Thank you to Walk Miles. I don't think they were in the chat today, but thank you. I got an Ethernet cable, and it's working great now, so thank you. That was very helpful. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chosen One of the Non-Existent God. Yes, thank you. I need to... Oh my god, that was so sweet. Thank you so much. Hey, Skip J, that was so nice of you. Thank you so much. Oh my god, that was so sweet. Good night. Yes, thank you so much for coming. I literally, like, you all make this so fun. So thank you for coming and thank you for chatting with me. And yeah, I was gonna tell you, Chosen One, God of the non-existent God. I need to reply to your comment, but I just haven't yet, but I will. But anyway, if I haven't replied to your comments, just know that I will. Sometimes it just takes me a minute. I'm not a very good like texter, so comments are kind of in that same like vein for me. But I will respond. But yes, thank you so much. Hey, Skip J, like literally, you're amazing. Thank you so much. And yes, I love you all. And good night, and I will see you Friday.